if you have met your twin flame and you know about, what twin flames are, the purpose of them and all of that stuff, then at some point you're going to have this debate in your head as to when or if you should tell your twin flame that they're your twin flame, about the whole concept. And this can be a difficult thing to realize and to work out for a number of reasons. But specifically in this video, I'm going to talk about what you should do if you're a girl, a woman, and you meet your twin flame and you don't know whether to tell them. You don't know how to tell them because you're worried that if you tell them, they might run away. It might scare them. They might think you're crazy. Whatever the bad or good outcome could be of that. So here's my opinion. Here's what I think you should do. A lot of guys in society today don't really care about spirituality, personal growth, personal development, and ultimately, twin flames as well. They are, and I said this in my other video about the masculine perspective of twin flames, they tend to be programmed and conditioned to reject that kind of deep connection. They're programmed to basically play the field through no fault of their own. They're programmed through media, through culture, music, things like this, and social media especially, but also their peers and just the way that everyone is tending to act in this society. They tend to play the field a bit. They tend to kind of keep their options open for whatever reason. However, for that reason, just going back to the first point, they don't really care about spirituality most of the time. And this applies not just to guys, but also to many girls in this society as well. And so if you have, opened yourself up, you have done work on yourself, you've been progressing on your journey, stepping into your purpose and stuff, and you've been doing all of that, that doesn't mean that the people around you have. And so what you have to, kind of bear in mind is that there is a good chance that if you tell your twin flame that they're your twin flame and you explain the concept and how it works and the importance of the connection, if they aren't ready for that, then of course that's going to make them run. So here is my advice. This might be a bit controversial. You might disagree with this. I don't know. But like I said, do with this what you will. And this is coming from a divine masculine twin flame myself. So I kind of know how I felt at that stage. And I know how I think a lot of other people would feel, men specifically, but this would apply either way. If you don't know about the concept, and if you haven't done spiritual and personal development work on yourself, then that kind of thing is going to scare you away. So if you are told about that, unless they feel the same, about the connection, unless they actually are honest with themselves enough to realize that the connection is important, then it probably is going to scare them away. So here's what I would suggest to do instead. Okay, you meet your twin flame. You realize that they're important, the connection is obviously important, and you don't want to let them slip away, although they can't really slip away ultimately, but you don't want them to start, running for a few years and then you have to try and get together later. You don't want that kind of mess. You just want a clean reunion, ideally. So instead of just telling them that they're your twin flame, aim to spend more time with them. Assuming that you've done, enough work on yourself and you're ready for a reunion, because not everybody is. There's different things that need to happen before you're ready to actually come together in a reunion. But assuming that you are ready, and that you feel ready and you're ready, try and just spend more time with them. Try and get the initiation to come from them to learn more about the connection. You want to get it to the point where you're spending a lot of time with this person. They feel very strongly attracted to you, of course, which hopefully they do if they are your twin flame. And what will happen is they will start after a period of time, whatever that period is. Let's say you're dating and things are going well, you're getting intimate, you're close, getting to know each other very well. After a certain period of time, they will start thinking, hold on a second, something is very different about this connection and this person. This is not like anything I've experienced before. And they probably will come to you and say, have you noticed that we're incredibly close, or we mirror each other's emotions, or we bring up things within each other at certain times? And they'll start to notice at a certain point. And if they don't, you can start to drop hints. You can start to say, don't you think that this is strange, that we're like this? Don't you think this is a kind of unusual thing that we do? And you want to try and drop hints so that they come to you and ask for your opinion on why you're so close, intimate, or whatever the adjective is. And at that point then, that's when I think you can then say, yeah, well, these are my feelings and this is what I think we are to each other. This is what I think about the connection. And then you go into the twin flame thing. But if you just drop them in the deep end as soon as you go on the first date, yes, they might be your twin flame, but telling them that the first meeting, it could push them away. Or at the very least, it could make them freak out and panic and, you know, get scared by the intensity of the relationship, because most people aren't ready for that sort of intensity in a relationship, including you. You know, if you think you're ready to tell your twin flame about the whole thing, you might not even be ready. So you have to kind of be honest with yourself and come to know whether you're ready to tell them about that and to talk about it together, or whether you should actually just wait a bit. Just wait it out, see how things go, maybe do a bit more work on yourself. They ideally would do work on themselves as well. And then, you know, when you're both ready, then you can come together in reunion, and things should work a lot better in that way. But this is just advice, you know. Ultimately, there's not much you can do that will stop you reuniting with your twin flame eventually. The more likely situation is that you will continue to work on yourself, you'll continue down this path, that ultimately will attract your twin flame, and then you'll reunite. If you want more advice on this, if you want a step-by-step actual, you know, guide on how to speed up reunion, and there is a lot you can do to speed it up, it's not all about divine timing, then check the link in the description, check out the Reunion Fast Track, that's what it's called, in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.